Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Raheli Meneses, and I am a Customer Success Manager for EMEA from Replicon. So we are very excited to host this customer webinar session around how advanced technologies like artificial intelligence can help businesses streamline and transform the time management processes completely. I will be joined by my colleague Ashni Kamboj, who is our solutions expert as well. So let's take a quick look at the agenda that we will be covering today. We will take a look at the current state of time management and the problems associated with it and why there is a need to change. Our experience in this industry of over 20 years, and because of that, we know that there is always room for transformation. Today, we will be walking through how Replicon is taking that opportunity of transformation by utilizing artificial intelligence to take time management to the next level, followed by a quick demo. We will then delve into the benefits for our customers using the time intelligence platform and answer any questions that might come in. But before we dive right in, just let us look quickly at some of the housekeeping items. You will be on mute during the presentation, and there will be a Q&A session at the end. However, if you have any questions at any time during the webinar, please feel free to submit them in the questions box, and we will make sure they are answered. And without further ado, let's get started. Why are we here today? We all have to agree that regardless of where, in the next level of digital disruption that businesses are facing today, enterprises are unlocking the power of AI to help augment the daily and tedious roles of the modern deskless, computerless, and mobile workforces. It is obvious that AI is here to stay. Its adoption and application has been exponentially growing. A number of startups, venture capital funding, and the confidence being shown by enterprises in AI is testimony to that fact. The data that fuels AI is harvested all around us in more ways and with a higher frequency than ever before. The impact of AI technologies on business is projected to increase labor productivity by up to 40% and enable people to make more efficient use of the time, giving them competitive edge. So at Replicon, to enable businesses with these latest advanced technologies, we started to look at what capabilities can be derived out of this booming market. Let us talk about a few that we are working on and see the tremendous potential. But before we jump in, let us look at what the current time management within organizations look like. We call this the time Frankenstein, and this is the reality in most businesses. Today, time is fragmented across the multiple systems companies have as part of their ecosystems. Businesses have the HCM, PSA, ERP, payroll, and a bunch of other mostly legacy systems to perform daily business operations, with a very small portion of it really capturing the time spent. The reason for it is that most of the systems are point solutions for single use case. For example, payroll applications are only used for paying staff and calculating overtime. HCM is used for tracking exception time or vacation time. PSA systems help track project resources and so on. They may well help a specific use case, but not beyond their own work frames. And if organizations need to track the enterprise-wide time, this becomes really tedious and very complicated. So now let me ask you a question. How would you react if somebody told you that an organization is not tracking their capital, or that they have no accurate records of the stock, or that they have no idea how many employees they have? Those are vital resources, and no organization would last long with those practices. Well, time is no less important, as an asset. Yet, with the lack of a holistic view, time goes missing when organizations have these disparate systems for managing enterprise-wide time. These are points of failure because these traditional point systems are not purposely built to collect time data. They add to the inaccuracy and/or inconsistency. There are huge overhead costs associated with managing time with these systems because there is a need for human intervention to ensure that business process workflows are not disrupted. Due to this lack of visibility into how time is spent by employees, time becomes too hard to track, leading to revenue leakages. And this lack of accurate data and huge overhead costs means businesses do not have the ability to understand the true value of time. As most of you are already leveraging Replicon for managing your employees' time in some way, you would agree that knowing that and understanding how your organization spends time is a competitive advantage. To put a dimension to it, a company with 500 employees has an approximate 1 million hours of available workforce time. You understand that how much time is really out there at your disposal for you to capitalize on. 1 million hours is too much of a resource not to know how is it spent. You have the answer to the question. Over 1 million of hours a year for 500 people business is being accounted for. And when you have that information at hand, you know that time needs to be managed just like any asset within the business and be treated as money because time makes up to 60% of your operating expenses and you have a good control over that. Replicon has been helping businesses to manage the scarcest resource, time, over the last 20 years, and managing it as an asset with centralized visibility and control by being a single source of truth to time capture. Time spent by businesses should not be in collecting disparate, fragmented time data, but they should be equipped with the ability to analyze their time, plan, and learn to make changes to drive productivity and profitability. Businesses need to be able to connect time to the outcomes produced. Businesses need a new way to think about time and need a transformation to manage their time way better. And that's where time intelligence comes in. It is all about knowing and understanding time, being able to connect the outcomes to make business decisions and predictions, and ensuring that employees are empowered at the same time. This is Replicon's blueprint of our time intelligence platform that will help transform time into an asset. It is made up of intelligent time knowledge that allows our customers, such as yourselves, to harvest time from anywhere and any device, sharing time or using the AIA's real-time collection, using the time intelligence processing to validate, understand, time look for exceptions powered by machine learning, and also to share the intelligence with the evolving ecosystem. This intelligence service is then used across a variety of activities, from making predictions to connecting the outcomes and broadcast to legacy software and new apps, and thus empower employees. Replicon has pre-built time intelligence products and enterprise solutions to help businesses with every use case there is around time within the enterprise. As Replicon's customers, you're already leveraging our time intelligence platform to manage time across your organization, whether it's streaming payroll processes, having relevant payrolls via time and attendance, or through client billing to capture billable hours and efficiently manage resources, projects, and real-time insights into project time, actuals versus budget via project costing, or tracking time off and expenses as part of your broader solutions. Our enterprise time management can help businesses to modernize their existing legacy ERP with purpose-built, enterprise-grade time management system to help accelerate ROI. With global time and gross pay automation, the platform helps global, multi-location organizations streamline their enterprise-wide gross pay operations with a unified platform for time and labor, payrolls, compliance, and gross pay management at scale. Business operations software for professional services helps professional services businesses optimize their end-to-end workflow and tie planning, service execution with financial performance to maximize profitability. And businesses can easily use a web services API to connect to their ecosystem to pass on this time knowledge. In the era we are in, time is mobile. As workforces are moving towards desktop-less, computer-less, and mobile environments, we need to be global to be able to handle complex, multi-location, diverse employee types with a global library for compliance, global governance, and a number of other elements that start tying around the more and more complex workflow scenarios. A platform is built for the future and streamlines time management with the use of advanced tech like AI, machine learning, and Internet of Things. These technologies are cutting edge, and we apply them to time data, patterns are identified, and that helps with automating time tracking with no need to force people to enter time, and leveraging the technologies to create a more efficient workflow and processes. And we believe this is the future. Consumer apps are already adapting a lot of this best tech, and we believe enterprises can make the most of it too. Let us see how artificial intelligence can help business transformation. As per studies, error rates for image identification have fallen from 28.5% to below 2.5% since 2010 and have overtaken human performance effectively. If you have been paying attention to Facebook, for example, you have seen the disclaimer about the ability to recognize your images better and how they are incorporating that into the technology. Replicon has incorporated these advanced capabilities into our time clocks and mobile devices to make access seamless, increasing accuracy. Our facial recognition capabilities make our modern time clock truly intelligent. Employees need not remember any user ID or carry a QR code, for example. Just walk in and get authenticated based on your face. It makes the whole process automated, quick, and seamless. It makes the punches secure and eliminates body punching right at the clock. Also, there are no added hardware costs. If you just have an iPad, our app can be downloaded and you're ready to go. We also utilize these authentication methods for mobile and have enabled Touch ID and Face ID where available. This keeps the data accuracy high and makes the time tracking process really a breeze. A few years ago, when chatbots first came about, there was so much skepticism that businesses weren't sure how long would it take before the bots took off. I've taken Siri, Google Home, Alexa, even Starbucks, they're everywhere today. It has become such an exciting and hot topic in technology space that we are very dependent on them. From weather to morning news to dimming living room lights, playing your favorite tune, you name it. They're the perfect companion to have these days, and the future with enterprise businesses looks very promising indeed. Replicon has built a very own intelligent AI-powered chatbot. It is your personal assistant, and you can strike conversation with it around your time. It is like talking to a colleague. It makes the whole process interactive and takes away the pain associated with it. Businesses are bound to see increases in adoption and data accuracy and consistency. AI technology helps empowering your employees by turning a mundane task into really an interaction. Another enhancement for the supervisory staff and managers is around reducing administrative overheads related to workflows. Most of us already know about Nest and how the smart thermostats make real-time adjustments based on a number of conditions to increase power efficiencies. Google's proprietary maps are set to become more and more accurate on time, and a vision owning to deep learning technology, which is being integrated into the app. personally use Google Traffic to decide on the route I should take back home. But I need to pull it up and check right before a junction as to which route is less traffic prone. But Google has been learning from this and has started throwing a notification a little before I reach the junction, reducing the overhead of me having to check the route. And similarly, Replicon has been investing in making approvals and businesses workflows work in a way to increase efficiencies. Our advanced business process workflows can be tailored to any business requirements you may have. The approval routing can be decided in real time based on data validations and exceptions. This reduces the overhead on approvers to manage the routing and helps them make informed decisions with relevant information at their fingertips. For example, if you want approvers to just get exception timesheets, whatever those exceptions may be, you can just set your workflow to that. Or if you want to manage overtime and have specific routing based on overtime hours or time of type, you can also create one, and the system learns and reacts in real time. The advanced configurability helps businesses optimize the review process and keep overhead low. And with that, I will hand over to Ashni for the bit you've been waiting for, which is a demo. Ashni?
Thanks, Rogelio. This is Ashni here. I'm just going to share my screen, and I should be good to go. All right, everyone. So we're going to talk about what Rogelio explained in a very, very nice way about the new AI platforms that we are introducing. So we'll start with the Replicon Chatbot that Rogelio spoke about. A very interactive way of recording your time and approving your timesheets or handling your data within the Replicon mobile app. So it's, like you said, it's just going to be about talking to your colleagues and just having things done while you talk about it. So as you all can see on my screen, I have the Replicon chatbot open up here. Whenever you log into your mobile app, this is going to show up on your screen. And instead of then going into the timesheets and starting to enter your time, or going into each date and then recording your time and just avoiding all that hassle, you come all over to this section, which is your Replicon bot, and then you can just go ahead and start typing in and start chatting. So I go ahead and say hello to my chatbot, and then I get a series of things that chatbot can do for me. So it's going to give me the details on what can be done. I can have my timesheets viewed. I can go ahead and have my timesheets approved. I can fill in my timesheet if I would like to. And then it also gives me options of what's been pending on my name and if I would like to proceed with that. That's not just about it. If your mobile app is going to just support, or if your mobile device is supporting the voice recognition, or if you've enabled the voice recognition, it also supports voice recognition for that. So say, for example, I'm going to tell my chatbot to fill my timesheet. So I type in here, fill my timesheet, and I'm going to send it over. This is not approving. Put in 8 hours on my timesheet. So, okay, I'm going to have that, and just going to make my okay. So it says if I would like to view my timesheet. Well, I'll say yes to that. Yes. And I send this, so it's just going to directly open up my timesheet for me to go ahead and view what my timesheet looks like. I'm going to go back to my chatbot and say approve timesheets. So I'm going to probably just go ahead and say approve my timesheet. Okay. So it tells me how many timesheets I have waiting for my approval, and it says there are 2 pending timesheets for approval. Do you want to go ahead and approve them? And if I say yes, it's just going to directly approve the timesheets for me. I don't even have to go to my dashboard section and approve my timesheets explicitly or one by one. So that's the benefit of having your chatbot with your option to go ahead and just chat with it and have your work done, or use your voice recognition for it. The other thing that we spoke about, or Value explained about, was the face recognition process that we have come over with regards to the cloud clock. Now, as you all may have heard about it, or may have used or seen about it, cloud clock is one of the devices or one of the softwares that we use so that you can avoid the buddy punching, and you can have people punch in and punch out of work to calculate their accurate in time and out time. Now, in all the process that we had earlier, we had the option of going ahead and using the QR code and using the user ID that you could type in and put it in. That took a bit of time for that. Now we have the third method, and I think the most intuitive method that we have about face recognition. So let me just go over to the option. Let me go to the class doc. All right, so I'm here. Hi everyone. So this is going to detect my face once I come in front of it, and it's going to show me, or it's going to clock me in up here. And I'll have the option to go ahead and choose whether I want to clock in or I want to use the other methods that I have. So let me just go ahead and clock in once again. Okay, so once it recognizes my face, I can just clock in and I'll be clocked in to work at the time I have set up here. So this way you can just go ahead and have your face recognition done. You can set the face recognition as your first point of punching in for users. So that's something that can be done in the system or while you're configuring the clock. So, or you can have your QR code. The QR code and user ID methods are also available at the bottom, so as you can see there. But this method actually allows you to not waste the time in putting in, showing up the QR code or carrying the QR code with you or typing in the user ID. You stand in front of the camera and you are done with your face recognition and your clock-in methods. So that's one of the AI paths that we have come up with. Now let's move a little bit further. Let's go into the system and let's log in and check about what we can do into the system up here. I'm just going to log in here. So we've spoken about the process flow, or basically the dynamic approval flows that we have come up with, or conditional approval flows that we have come up with. These are methods that you can use if you want your approval basically to move forward with time, or with somebody not being available, for the system to act smart and move it over to the next person in line so that your approvals go through and it's not pending on somebody who is not available in the office or is not available to approve at that point of time. So we have introduced conditional approval rules for timesheets, time offs, and expenses. All three components have conditional approval rules now. Let's talk about what these conditional approval rules ideally do. So to start with the timesheet conditional approval rules, there are three set of rules that we've introduced to start with. The first one being escalated to next supervisor after the elapsed time. So you can here specify how long is the timesheet going to wait for the first supervisor in line, and if the first supervisor doesn't approve in time, when is it going to move forward to the next supervisor. Next thing that you have here is the supervisor approving it if it's above the 40 hours time frame that we have. So whenever the supervisor receives the timesheet, or whenever the supervisor sees that the timesheet is above 40 hours, only then he goes ahead and approves it. Otherwise, the timesheet can be auto-approved. The next one that we have is the supervisor approves overtime hours. So the supervisor can only have the timesheet come up for approval if the timesheet has overtime hours, or else the supervisor doesn't get the timesheet for approval, it can get auto-approved. Okay, so these are your timesheet conditional approval rules, and then we have conditional approval rules for time offs as well. So for time offs, we've introduced one conditional approval rule where the supervisor gets to approve only if the time off is above specific duration. So I let my time off get approved if it's a 1 day, 2 day duration. If it's say about a 5 day duration or anything above that, then I want the supervisor to go ahead and approve it. Also, if you have thought of or if you've used Replicon or if you've had a look at the Replicon system, in time off you can set up time off specific approval paths. So you can set this approval path for one of the time off types, and then for the others you can have a specific default approval path set up in the system. Okay. Also moving on, we have one expense conditional rule. So we have an expense conditional rule available where it says that supervisor approves the expense only if it goes over a certain amount. So if that happens, then the expenses go ahead for approval. Otherwise, the expenses get auto approved in the system. So now the system does the work for you. You don't have to worry about your approvals pending at any point or at any level of the system. So now you can just go ahead and have your approvals flow in, and they will be transferred over to the next level or move on based on what conditions you have applied. With that, before we move forward, I think we have a couple of questions that came in with regards to chatbot that we spoke about. The first question that we had is the bot only for the iPhone app? Is it there for iOS and Android? Currently, we have the chatbot for the iOS and Android app for sure. We have it for both of them. It's still in the beta version, yes. You want to try it, you can get in touch with your customer success manager and they can help you, give you a trial on how it works. So that should be that. All right. Having said that, with that, I'm going to push things back over to Rogelio. That's all I had in terms of demo from my side.
Thank you, Ashni, for that fantastic demo. I hope everybody can see my screen now. So as we have seen, it is critical that organizations manage the people time as an asset and get centralized visibility and control, making the most out of the million of hours at their disposal. And the benefits are measurable. Customers have reported an increase in employee productivity, tremendous increases in time data accuracy, and admin efficiencies while reducing labor costs and revenue leakages. Hence, Replica's vision is to make time management as non-intrusive as possible, and we believe the best way to manage time as an asset is to create an environment where employees need not track time at all. And with a focus on embedding AI within the time intelligence platform, organizations will soon become even more efficient. The platform will continue to learn and become smarter, being able to recognize patterns in timesheets and approvals. Ultimately, the platform will be able to make predictive suggestions. For example, pre-populated timesheets based on prior submissions that just needs employee approval to submit to manager. In order to make employees and managers more efficient and processes even more automated. Like that, imagine a day when the AI-enabled platform pings an employee with his timesheet and on his consent checks for exemptions to approve the timesheet and also knows which compliance rules or billing rates need to be applied, then presenting the payroll and finance teams with what the payroll runs and invoices would look like. We believe that day is not far away, and we have started in that journey. At Replicon, we believe that the best form of time management requires the least amount of effort. And with that, let's look at the questions that have been coming in. I can see we have no questions. Do we have any questions? Okay, I think we are receiving some questions. We're just processing it. Just give me a minute. Again, in the meantime, if any of the attendees would like to submit the questions through the questions chat, please feel free to do it. We will be more than happy to address them. Okay, so we have the first one. What is the future of the Replicon time intelligence platform? So, as we were discussing before, Replicon's aim is to make time management as non-intrusive as possible. And that path, the Replicon TI platform can send time signals that businesses already have, and we'll be able to come up with some recommendations as it learns, then create a timeline, which the user can easily convert into a timesheet, and also use the time signals for further processing to apply validations, pay rules, and further and complete the pay billing process. So yeah, definitely the time intelligence platform is here to stay. We have another question. How do you help global businesses? Well, as you have seen, the Replicon time intelligence platform is also built to support global governance and some local admin, which means you can create the right level of groups, provide the relevant access and privilege settings to make the whole time management use case fit whatever multi-location business requirements there are. So we have a third question. We are already using time tracking from our payroll. What can Replicon help us with? Well, yeah, your payroll, HCM or ERP vendors normally are not built to manage time. Their core expertise is something else, and time tracking is a feature for them. So with Replicon, we have been built to do that naturally. So we help you manage all of your time-based use cases to get the most out of your employees. So we help businesses with project-based time, client billing, and even time tracking issues that traditional vendors would normally not be able to handle because of their configurability, which is limited compared to ours, which is quite extensive. And I think we're going to do one more. How does Replicon support the field workers and remote employees? On that front, we have a mobile-first strategy, and we have a partnership with Apple. So we have a purpose-built mobile app that we make investments in, like as you saw the chatbot, and we also have huge install base using our mobile capabilities. So in that sense, it is easy to reach the workers in the field through our app and their own devices. So it's really easy and really simple to manage the workflows and the workforce in the field. So I think that was the last one. So we think that should be covering all of the questions that we have received today. Yep, that's it. So If you want a personalized demo of some of these AI-enabled features, please reach out to me at rogelio.meneses@replicon.com. We will send you out the recording and some material post the webinar, and we can also always arrange a personalized demo of our platform. With that, we'd like to thank you for your time and looking forward to your success with Replicon as your time intelligence partner. Thank you, everyone.